Good morning. It's time to get in touch. In Touch is a public affairs show dedicated to improving the lives of Susquehanna Valley residents. I'm Freddi Hammer, news director at Backyard Broadcasting.
Today, we're talking about an organization whose mission is simple but powerful, enhancing the lives of people with intellectual disabilities by providing caring support and responsive services from infancy through advanced age. So for more than 70 years, Hope Enterprises has been helping families. And joining me today is Mackenzie Howe, Executive Director, Hope Enterprises Foundation Incorporated. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we're just wondering about Hope Enterprises itself. People may not be familiar that it's even available to anybody. What's the core mission of Hope Enterprises?
So we support people in central Pennsylvania with people with intellectual disabilities, and we've most recently onboarded mental health case management as well.
Okay.
So it's really supporting them in whatever opportunities they feel like they'd like to be involved in to feel successful in their life.
So what does that look like, a day in the life of a client of Hope Enterprises?
So it really changes. We have community-based services, which is actually a really innovative way of supporting people with diverse abilities now.
Uh-huh.
So we are no longer a facility-based service, which means that we just go out into the community.
Okay.
So we actually have staff that will go and they'll meet up with somebody and what do they want to do? What would help them to feel fulfilled? So whether that is employment or volunteering, giving back in their community, being active in their church, whatever that person wants to do in their life is where we step in and support them.
So it's really not a one-size-fits-all program.
No, very different, very individualized. And it also changes as they get older. Some of their medical needs change. And we also have housing for people. And we're really exploring new ways to be innovative and to bring technology in so that we can give people the opportunity to be independent while still providing them that safety net.
What's it feel like to be part of the history of Hope Enterprises? It's been around for quite a few years.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So we have two really dynamic boards at Hope. We have our Hope board and then our Hope Foundation board. And just the history, the impact, just how the community embraces the individuals that we support is truly one of a kind. It's really wonderful to be a part of it.
Back to the beginning of it, Dr. Miller.
Yep.
Do you have to work on getting to know what their mission was, or does it sort of just come naturally to know what to do next?
So the exciting part is that it's really well documented what we've done. And most recently, actually, the foundation board created a founding families ad hoc committee to kind of determine not only the Miller's role, but like what did the community do? And so exciting enough, we're getting ready to launch this new foundation space at our office on Reach Road. And part of that, we're going to have a founding families garden where we're going to recognize everybody from those who did fundraising all the way down to the mom that brought the snacks, right? Like, because all of those parts played a really significant role in who we are today. And so we're excited to be able to honor not just the Millers, but all of the families that have been involved in that.
It's almost a new concept. I mean, there was institutionalization of people
Yes.
who had intellectual disabilities. Organizations didn't understand.
Yeah.
So here we are understanding these are real people with real feelings and emotions that need things.
Yeah, and to be able to push that model even further and to say like, okay, now let's take technology into somebody's home and how can we educate them how to use the system?
Sure.
How can we educate our staff? How do we ensure the community that they're still going to be safe? We're going to make sure they wake up to their alarm, right? And take their medications on time, but ultimately is giving that person who maybe never even considered living on their own the opportunity to fully be independent. It's really beautiful to see it kind of advance the way it has.
And I guess you've expanded into other counties as well.
Yeah, so we kind of continue to grow, and it's really based off the needs. I mean, our model, especially in central Pennsylvania, is so unique. I mean, this whole community-based services, not having a bricks and mortar concept is really hard for people. Like the change.
There's no center to go to.
Yeah, and just to make sure that they know that their loved one is still cared for, right? And that's ultimately what we're trying to educate the community on. But it's still change, and it's still hard, and it's very scary when you're talking also about a vulnerable population.
Sure.
But man, the communities, they have rallied behind this concept. Every year we advance more and more, and so it's great just to be able to get out and to talk to people about it.
And also supporting them for their lifetime.
Yeah.
That must have been sort of a model to sort of get used to as well. Like you're not going to leave them hanging.
Right. The world of disability services has really changed of we're just going to help Johnny, right? That's it. to like we're really providing a medical care for these folks in many ways. And then their needs are going to change and, kind of now bringing in mental health to this whole world and, to realize that they may also need support that we're able to give them. It's just really evolving. And we have a great team that's really working on those things. We have a really awesome video about our history. And one of like the original board members talks about just the opportunity that all of us have, right? To go out and make mistakes and take risks and like, why can't we just do the same thing? And so it's really cool to hear like that was where we started. And that's still what we're doing today, just giving people the chance to try out new things.
And I guess an employment is an option for people.
Yeah, so just getting people employed, but it's more than just finding them a job. It's finding them an opportunity to be successful.
Yeah.
You want to find a place where naturally the team that works there starts to take on that person and support them. And Rashawn is always a great one that I talk about with the Crosscutters because they have owned the concept of what it is to take Rashawn in, right?
Yes.
And to work with his abilities versus what others may perceive of his disability. And so
people may not know that Rashawn is the director of Smiles for the Williamsport Crosscutters.
Yeah, he's practically a celebrity in these parts. But that's exactly what we're looking for with employment. And so it's so much more than just saying we're going to look for cleaning and, and food industries and all that. It's like, what do you want to do? Working with kiddos as they're getting ready to age out of that high school, where are they looking to go, and then setting it up. If a student is interested in counseling, then we will connect them with a counselor in the community that will talk to them about what that's like and what's the track for education and all that. Like, getting out of the box that they have a disability, they may never be able to be a counselor. It's really like, well, how do you know?
Right.
If you haven't given them the opportunity, we don't know what we want to do or be or you
grow into it for sure. What level of disabilities do you work with? Do you have any kind of training for specific disabilities?
So primarily just intellectual disabilities, but say there is somebody in a home that has maybe like a feeding tube or requires more medically trained staff, then they do get specifically trained to work with that. And so there's multiple levels of training. Our team, again, does a fantastic job of ensuring that, everybody's really safe and cared for. But it really it's so individualized.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about the different facilities that you have. You have like a playground that you've just put in this past year. Is that true?
So that was down at our children's campus. Yeah. So that's actually just where we have partners. And so for us over the years, we've evolved from like, okay, we're going to host all of these services and like Hope's going to do it all. And then I think we've really started to hone in on like, what do we do well? And so for us, we've taken our children's campus on West Edwin, and that's been where we focus on our partnerships. So STEP has the Head Start. And yes, we were able to, from the foundation, support some fundraising to, resurface that. And we work with UPMC and their pediatric rehabilitation. We run the Women, Infants, and Children's program at that location as well as in Clinton. And so it's our partnership to show that we are better together, truly just working as a group.
What's the reaction of a parent when you help out their child?
Ultimately, like I'm a parent, right? So I always speak to that. You just want to know that your loved one is cared for.
Yeah.
That dynamic really changes from, okay, let's talk about the younger generation and how their parents look at support versus maybe the older, but then also like what happens when somebody ages and, like that level of care. And so we really try to just focus on the model that whatever your loved one needs, we'll be there to support it. And if we're not the right fit, we'll find you the right fit, right? Because we're not going to be able to do everything. We can focus on what we can really well, but it's just, what do you want to do? Like, what are their goals? Like what, and talking to them versus maybe the family. And what do you want to do?
Yeah.
We are always trying to make big impacts, right? Like what is the ripple? Like what does a big chunk of money do that can really educate our staff, which will in turn give better care, which will help the family. It's like, that kind of ripple effect. But you start to see some of those barriers from the, air quote, disability community. They're starting to be broken down even more. And people are starting to realize that there's just really great value in just opening the door and allowing them to walk through it.
Would you say that you're helping make those understanding connections?
Yeah. And to see how the communities have reacted from the initial phase of like, okay, we're going to get people out and involved to now, I mean, the doors are wide open. I mean, you have the food banks where we volunteer. You have churches that are welcoming people in. You have the colleges that are embracing and kind of using this as a learning opportunity, everything from like the dental program to the education department. So it's really interesting to see how vast the services have become, but that's just because of the community. We've been embraced.
Like when you talk about dental or using, those are the partners that you're hoping to gather.
Those are the partners that we currently have. Yeah. And so, I mean, now it's like, all right, Penn College, we're gonna work with you, and your dental health students are going to learn what it's like to work with these individuals that may have some communication barrier, but it's very important that you learn how to manage those situations. And for us on the flip side, what a great opportunity, right? Like anytime we can educate people that, that person just deserves the same respect is really great. And so we've seen over the last, prior to COVID, when we had the day program, we've seen these partnerships grow. And you're just constantly getting called with people saying, we need volunteers. Everyone needs volunteers.
Sure.
Everyone needs volunteers and everyone needs workers. And guess what? We have both.
Yes, they'll provide that for them.
Yeah.
What did COVID do to Hope Enterprises? What happened during those 2 years?
Wow. It changed, not only from just the operations side. We were very old school, right? I mean, we had everything was kind of paper, down to our timesheets and the things that we just don't think about anymore.
Everything's virtual now.
Yeah, everything. We've onboarded like a medical health record. And so we have very clear, data to show how we are caring for somebody, which is great. But then on the program side, when the state came and said, you can no longer have 120 people, possibly high risk, in one facility together at a time, we're going to kind of close the doors. It was like chaos.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, and
scrambling.
Yeah. And also for families, because I mean, we all know we were all stuck kind of home.
Yeah.
And how do you support people? And so it has been a long process, I think, of educating folks that we are still doing the same services. The only difference is we're not asking them to come to Hope's office every day. And if there is aspects of that program that they loved, right? The socialization, spending time with their friends, the activities, we can create that exact same thing. It's just going to be in the community. And we promise it'll be better. It'll be better.
Is it a plan for one person, like they have a client that they would have a schedule? What do they do?
Maybe that person's goal is to be gainfully employed, or maybe that person's goal is to spend time out in the community, right? And so then our staff's job is to work towards those plans. And so, if it's a staff that they have specific training to get somebody employed, they may start going and, just kind of, hey, I want to introduce you to this gentleman. And he's interested in mechanics, right? Or whatever it may be. Do you have any volunteer work? Can we just sit down and talk about it? And then, like, say employment, they would help them. Let's talk about what it's going to be like in your interview, right? What are questions you have? How can I help you to make sure you ask the questions? Here's how you look professionally. Here's how you fit when you're feeling overwhelmed and you're, struggling. Here's how we're going to take a step back and handle those. Like everything from the start to how can we support you to make sure you maintain and you're successful in that job.
Give me an example of what a client might have gone through, like to that transition to not having any help and then finding the hope in Hope Enterprises.
So it's very different for everybody because we have everything from families that are extremely involved, right, and always want to play a very significant role in that person's life to, unfortunately, people that don't have any family. And so we, kind of like become that family for them and advocate for them. And so it really varies on what they're looking to do. But I think all of it just kind of starts with a conversation, right? It's a conversation with them on what they're looking for. And
it makes them feel heard.
Yeah. And I think a lot of time we spent talking to the others, the educators from the school or from the county or whatever. But like, are we talking to them about what they want?
Including them.
Feels basic, right? Yeah. But I think it really just depends. I think it could go from, maybe this person's not used to going out or doesn't know how to be engaged in the community. And here's our staff kind of coming in to help them. Or it could be just the same thing that they're always used to if their family has always made them a part of the community.
Yeah. What's the difference between a volunteer and a staff member at Hope Enterprises?
So for our staff, obviously there's significant training that they have to go through. Depending on if they're in somebody's home, are they working with them during a med time, right, when they need to pass meds? So there's definitely a higher level of training for that. But then there's also the staff that, take them out into the community, and maybe that person doesn't need medication, or maybe they can take their own medication when they need it. Mm-hmm. And so it really varies. And then, of course, we have like our administrative side, which we're just making sure we follow all the rules.
Yeah.
And then while we're doing that, also respecting what people want to do in their life.
What kind of people do you need? Like, you need volunteers?
The word volunteer is pretty tough for us because we are dealing with people who have medical needs. Mm-hmm. And so we usually just go straight with staffing. Now, okay. I have various events with the foundation that we always just say, like, if you feel like you may be uncomfortable, like, it's okay, first of all, right? Validating that. But just come out and be a part of it. We work every other year. I host a Dance the Night Away event. That
sounds fun.
It's the best event. But essentially, we pair people with disabilities, whether or not they're served by Hope, and we pair them with community leaders. And they actually work with the Katie Benson School of Dance, the students. Nice. And the students teach them these routines. And it's always so cool to see, some of these students, if it's their first time ever working with folks, that little like, okay, I'm a little standoffish. I'm not quite sure how to handle this. Towards the end, when it's like high fives and like photos galore, and it truly opens their eyes to how exciting that all can be. Yeah. And so we always just say, like, if you want to see what it's like, the foundation's here. We have our events. Everyone that is supported by Hope is in my events. And so come be a part of that. But, if it's something where you think you could support them further, or, even opening up your home is an option, to care for somebody in your home, give them that family connection. There's just so many opportunities to do that.
Can you do fundraisers? Is that how you get your money, or do you have grants? How does it work?
A little bit of everything. Okay. Thank you for asking. So we have a wonderful group of supporters. Every year I plan different fundraising events. Our golf invitational is the big one, obviously, in the area. We sell out the 2 courses at White Deer. So it really just depends on what we need. And then if there is something that I can seek outside funding, I will go and apply for that grant, say through the First Community Foundation or another great partner of ours. But then I internally every year, we determine, okay, how much money do we have to give to the organization? So then we determine, say, $200,000 annually. And then the Hope Enterprises side will say, okay, how can we utilize those funds? What are things that we need that would be impactful for you to tell that story, but would also make a big difference in what we're doing? And so that's where our foundation kind of plays back into Hope's mission.
And I'm thinking Raise the Region must be a wonderful thing for you.
Yeah, and Raise the Region, it's so funny. It's just community events. That's what I raise my funds for. And just to always have a pocket of money. And I think the highest we've ever raised was like $16,000, which may not sound like a significant amount. But when you take our, 200 individuals and now they have $16,000 to, if they want to go through Knoebels through the Grove, they can pay for it.
That's nice.
If they want to go do this, they can pay for it. So every year I'm like, we'll raise like $10,000, $15,000. But it makes such a big impact because you're just removing that financial barrier that they face. It's funny because sometimes, the community will say, oh, you don't have to pay. And it's like, oh, please, we have $16,000 to spend, right? But we always find great ways. We do a Knoebels event in Knoebels, if you are aware, they're very inclusive. And like down to adult changing stations are things you don't consider needing. And yet at Knoebels, like we can, give our folks tickets and send our staff for the day. And then they just always have that safety net. If they need to plug in their blender for lunchtime or if they need that changing station, it's there. So we use some of the funds to be able to get people out and to do really fun things like that.
That's wonderful.
It's fun.
Tell me about the vetting process as far as making sure they're safe and different background checks and stuff like that.
For staffing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of vetting that has to be done, obviously. And then there's significant training that they have to go through. I mean, again, you're taking people who are not trained to be nurses. And then it's like, okay, well, now we need you to give this medication every day. And so it's just supporting them, right? As much as we're supporting the individuals. and making sure that they feel comfortable. I think that's a big piece. And so they go through significant training. And then, of course, we have like compliance checks constantly. Anytime maybe a medication is given before or after when it's supposed to be administered, that kind of flags it.
Okay.
So it's highly regulated, which is a great thing.
Sure. Families must feel very secure about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think there's as much understanding about that, right? I don't think people realize kind of how much we have to ensure we're doing to make sure that environment's safe.
Yeah.
And especially people's home, I always laugh. It's cleaner than ours. I guarantee you.
Yes.
And it's like, like if we have a rip in a screen, the state's like, whoa, you have to fix that rip. And it's like, please don't ever come to my house. Yeah, very safe. And it's exciting. We're proud to be able to say those things.
What's your background, Mackenzie? I'm just wondering about your education. You're a grant writer. You know how to do that.
I ended up, getting my master's, and I've done everything from sales to, I did some media before, and I've just naturally fallen towards working for causes. So I worked for the Cancer Society for years and really loved that mission and was very close when a family member went through it. And so then I was thinking, okay, I want to try out a new challenge. And ended up coming to Hope and interviewing for this job, which was brand new. Nobody at Hope had ever done it. And it was working the foundation. And once I came to Hope and learned just the love that everybody has for the people that we support and just the mission itself, and then to see how we've evolved and now to be a part of like driving the funding for that.
Yeah.
It is really cool. It's really cool. So I'm 8 years, I think, now with Hope, and every year's different and the team's constantly different, and we're always kind of striving to be better. And it's just been a really big blessing to be a part of it.
Being able to care for our community, it's so important. It's just to give out the love because
compassion.
Serving others helps us.
Yeah, compassion.
Yeah.
And I think that's really just the backbone of what Hope is. I think that's why people love it so much. And once you are in a room with one of our individuals, you will realize like all of your little worries go out, right? Like everything. And it's like, man, they are having a great day.
High five.
And I want to have a great day. Like, yes, so it really puts things into perspective, and yeah, you want to support them. It's
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Well, the impact you've done for over 70 years with Hope Enterprises, I wonder, what do you want the community to most understand about what you do?
Coming from the foundation and coming off another remarkable fundraising year, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be a part of a group that embraces Hope so well. It's a wonderful time for me to reflect and at Hope's mission and everything we've done.
Well, I wonder, the people that are looking for services or employers who want to be partners, how do they get in touch with you, Mackenzie?
Yeah. You can go right to our website, which is hopeability.org. And we have contact us forms on there. There's a phone number where you can give us a call. And, even though we are vast and that we support a large footprint, we are still kind of your small town nonprofit.
Yeah.
So there's a beauty in that, right? You will find us, you will get one of us on the phone, and we're going to be able to have that personal connection with you. So if there's some way that we can help, or if you just like to be involved or to learn more, I'm always willing to come and just talk to teams about, how awesome the organization is.
We're grateful to have Mackenzie Howe. She's the executive director of Hope Enterprises Incorporated, which has a footprint in Williamsport and also in Clinton County and wherever you are, wherever you have the need.
Yeah, wherever the need is, we will go. Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us today on In Touch.
Appreciate it.
In Touch is locally produced in our studios at 1685 4 Mile Drive in Williamsport. To get in touch with us regarding questions, comments, or topic ideas, call weekdays between 8 and 5, 570-323-8200. You can also write to us at 1685 4 Mile Drive, Williamsport, PA 17701. Attention Freddi Hammer. Or email me at fhammer@backyardbroadcasting.com. For archived programs of our In Touch series, you can download and subscribe to our new Backyard Podcasting feature through a link on any Backyard Broadcasting website or obtained where podcasts are available. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Backyard Broadcasting. The programming discussed here on In Touch does not necessarily reflect the feelings or opinions of the management or staff. Thanks for listening to In Touch, a production of Backyard Broadcasting.